Let me get comfortable, child. What is up, you guys? It's your girl Kim, and it is Kim's Day. Bye. So today I'm gonna do a little story time. Anytime I do like a sit down or a story time, I wanna wear my little pink Santa hat. It really is a Minnie Mouse Santa hat, but I didn't want Minnie Mouse in the front. So yeah, yes, I'm in my pajamas. I'm trying to get this video out so I can make sure y'all get it on time. So I don't want to hear it be like, girl, you was just in the pajamas while you was decorating. Shut up. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm recording for you. So I want to hear it. I'm going to try and make this story time as quick as possible. But it's not a quick story time, I'm not going to lie. So you might as well sit down, girl, get you a glass of wine, get you some popcorn, because it's a juicy little story time. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I was a sophomore / junior in college. This was 2021. I was 20 years old. And I met this guy. He DM'd me on Instagram. I had posted something about the Cowboys, and he DM'd me on Instagram, and he was just kind of like making a joke out of it, whatever. And that's when he told me that he was from Baton Rouge, which is where I went to school at. And I was like, oh, like, you know, whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I look at his profile, and I followed him back because he had followed me, but I couldn't see. Cute. He was real cute. And so I'm like, dang, like, he fine. And so he was like, yeah, but I'm in the military. And I'm like, ugh. So that's just kind of how we kicked it off, you know, whatever. We exchanged numbers. Cool. So one day, I'll never forget, I went to Wiener Schnitzel. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's a little hot dog place. Girl, I'm sitting in my room eating some chili cheese fries or whatever. He's like, you want to FaceTime? And I'm like, I don't know about FaceTime, but we can like get on the phone. So that's how we kind of started communicating a little bit more, by getting on the phone, and then eventually getting on the phone just turned into FaceTime. And we would just FaceTime each other all the time. We would just talk, have conversations, blah, 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 blah. So I'm gonna admit my wrongs in the whole process. We had started talking like the 15th of October, if I'm not mistaken. And so we had only been talking for a month. And I was just really pushing the issue like, I want this to be my man. I want this to be my man. And I kept saying like I wanted to be his girlfriend, you know, whatever. And so he asked me to be his girlfriend on the 16th of November. Cool. Now, in the midst of us having these conversations, like, you know, us being on the phone, this, that, and the third, I would notice that he would talk about his ex a lot. And he would just bring up like random stories or like stuff that she did, like that he would never want to happen to him again. So I'm like, oh, like that's some trauma type, you know, junk, whatever. So I'm just like, you know, okay, cool. Like, you know, I'm still trying to like talk to him about it, you know, whatever. So I'm just like, okay, he don't like this, he don't like that. That's how I'm taking it, right? Okay, cool. So November, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, around that time. So I remember I went to New Orleans for Bayou Classic, and I asked him, you know, where was he stationed? He was stationed in Texas at the time. And I was like, okay. I was like, because my mama talked to a guy that was in the military, and he was stationed in that same area. And I was like, I think she drove to go see him. Like, it's not that far. It's like over 1,000 miles, bro. So I was like, uh-oh, never mind. But I was like, okay, I want to see you. Because I don't know when the next time he can come home, you know, this, that, and third. He was like, yeah. I said, yeah, I want to see you. He's like, okay. I booked my flight. Cool. I booked my flight Bayou Classic weekend, which is like the end of November. And booked my Airbnb. At the time, nobody knew I was talking to this man, like family-wise. Because me, I'm a very, like, when it comes to my family, I don't tell them about the guys that I'm in a relationship with or that I'm talking to. Because if we not finna extend this relationship, or we not finna look into getting married or nothing like that, what's the point of you meeting my family? Like, that's so dumb. I ain't got time for all that. So what I did was, the only people that knew me and him were together were my friends, my line sisters, and my advisors. Okay, so when I booked the flight, around the time for me to leave came up. Now, mind you, my mama don't know where I'm at, right? My mama don't know I'm gonna get on a plane, go fly and see a guy that I've never met in person. I've only seen on FaceTime, met on Instagram. So it was also my first time getting on a plane since I was like 6, maybe. So I was also scared of that because I'm actually scared of heights and scared of planes and stuff like that. So yeah, it was exciting, but it was also scary because I'm like, if something happened to me, my mom don't even know I'm out here, right? So I get to the airport. Out there in Texas, and he's like on the phone with me, like, I'm here, where you at? Like, this and the third. So I'm looking. As I'm looking, this guy, like skinny guy, didn't look nothing like him. He's on the phone and he's like approaching me, and I'm like, I know damn well. I said, oh my gosh, don't let me have a guy catfish and I'm stuck out here. Anyway, turned out not to be him. So eventually he came, he found me, whatever. I'm excited. I'm like, okay, like cool, like this is different. So yeah, we get to the Airbnb. He had went, got his stuff, came back. And then we went to the grocery store. At the time I had food stamps, so I went ahead and I just used my stamp. I'm like, we ain't finna pay out of pocket, like that's so stupid. That's stupid. So we had got some stuff, whatever, went back to the Airbnb. Cool. So like I said, he was going to work. He would get up at about 4 o'clock in the morning so he can go to work. Because they had to drive an hour out. So while he be at work, I be at home in the bed chilling. Like, I chill, whatever. He got off he would get home around 7 o'clock. So around 5:30, I get up, make up the bed, clean up the Airbnb. I would take a shower and I would start cooking. So that way by the time he get home, it's already food ready for you, bookie butt. Like what? What? Like that's the kind of, yeah. So cool. That's just kind of how we was rocking. We went on our very first date, and I will never forget this day. This day was just crazy. So we started off, we went to the mall early that morning. Oh yeah, I'm cold. Hold on. Baby, let me get a little blanket. I told y'all, go ahead and get comfortable. Chavo. So, he was off on a Saturday. So we wanted to go out, whatever, go on the first date. I told him, I said, I just want to go see the lights. You want to say, like, if we go on a date, like, I want to go see the lights. For sure. So he's like, okay. So we got up, we went to the mall. He loves the mall. We go to the mall, cool, just chilling, walking around, having fun, trying new things, whatever. We leave, we go back to the house. So he was like, babe, I'm finna go back on base and go get me something to wear. He was like, what are you wearing? And I told him exactly what I was wearing. And so he's like, okay, so he kind of wanted to match me, but he kind of didn't want to match me. So I'm like, okay. So he gets on base. I'm at the crib. At the time, Summer Walker had just dropped Still Over It. So I'm at the house. I took me another shower. I started doing my makeup, getting ready, getting cute, whatever. So he calls me and he's like, babe, I need some help, trying to find an outfit. And I'm like, okay, like what you trying to do, what you trying to wear, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to help him out. He's getting frustrated with me. So I'm like, okay. So he gets so frustrated, he hangs up the phone. So I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay, like he'll be over it, whatever. So I finished doing my makeup, whatever. So I'm ready to go. So I'm ready to go, whatever. He comes in the house, slamming the doors, just walk past, mad as shit. I'm like, damn, fuck wrong with you? So mind you, I'm listening to this Summer Walker album while he coming up in there, he's slamming doors and shit. So it pissed me off. Like, one thing about me, you come up in here with that unnecessary attitude shit and you just mad at the fucking world. I don't give a fuck. But when you start doing that shit towards me, bitch, now you done pissed me off. Now we both mad. I'm mad that you mad. Cause bitch, what the fuck you come in here doing all that for? Anyway, so cool. We go to leave. When we get in the car, I'm pissed. Cause I'm like, nigga, what you mad for? Like, the fuck? So we get in the car and the first song he plays is, and he purposely looked for this song because he was like blasting some type of music. Before he even pulled out of the driveway, he looked for this song. And it was Sure Thing by Miguel. Now, I love that song. I love that song. So when he played it, I'm just like listening and like we sitting there in silence, bitch. I'm talking, ain't nobody talking. We just like, oh okay. The fuck? But he was playing it like loud and shit like that. So I'm like, nigga, you playing this song for me? Like, what are we doing? So we get to the restaurant. We had went to Chili's. Cause there's really not much out there where he was at. So we get out there, cool. We get out the car, and when we go inside and we're sitting down, he was like, I want to apologize, for my attitude, this and third. He was like, I really was just upset because I was trying to find something to wear and I felt like you wasn't helping me. I'm like, no, it's not that I wasn't helping you, but like, I'm not that big on like putting that shit on. Back then, I was not good at putting that shit on. Hell, now I'm not good at putting that shit on. I just make it look good. So, whatever. We had a couple of drinks. We ate. We go see the Christmas lights. Beautiful. I love the Christmas lights out there. Had hot chocolate, laughs, whatever. It was a great night. And so, the whole week was great. I think besides that, I think that was the only time we actually like got into it. Other than that, I mean, it was the same routine. He go to work, he get off, he has a home cooked meal to come to. We we go to bed. Like everything was good. Everything was cool. So, I left there and I came back. I wanted to stay extra, but I couldn't. So, I left. I went back to Baton Rouge and I was like, damn, like I miss my man. So we still on our normal routine of, FaceTime and talking to each other every day, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. But when we get back, this is when shit just kind of to the left. So one day, I'm on the phone with him. He's just sad as fuck. I'm like, what the fuck wrong with him? So he was like, yeah, my homeboy called me and he said my ex is pregnant. I said, is it yours? Like, what? Because that's the only reason I can see you being fucking sad. Like, damn, got a baby with my ex. He was like, no. So in my mind, I'm like, nigga, what the fuck are you sad for? Okay, she's pregnant. But I'm like, okay. So he was like, yeah, and her birthday's coming up. Now, mind you, my birthday was coming up too. So the bitch birthday, I think 3 or 4 days before mine. So I'm like, ugh, here we go with this shit. So, mind you, he's also a very jealous person. He's a very jealous person. But if I reciprocate that energy, it's like, why are you doing all that? You know what I'm saying? See, it's cool when they do it. It's probably when I do it. So, he goes into this story. Like, we're just talking, and I be letting him just talk, because I'm just like, get that shit off your chest, bro, so you can shut the fuck up. Because this is not the first time he's talked about his ex, but it's like, I just got back from back there, and like, all of a sudden, like, you calling me and you sad over your ex. First of all, the constant talking about his ex should have been red flags. So, on my end, I would ask questions. Ask questions. Every time he bring up his ex, I ask questions. Because I'm just like, okay, like, nigga, at this point, do you want to be back with the girl? Or like, what else did she do that, would trigger you that you just don't like? So, cool. So he goes into this story. Basically, he wanted to have dinner that night. And she was like, that's fine, like, we can have dinner, like, we can cook at the house, whatever. And they have this dinner. Once they have this dinner, they just gonna enjoy the rest of their night. So So she was like, I'm gonna go out with some of my friends, because at the time I think she was in college. She was like, I'm gonna go out with some of my friends, and then when I get back home, you know, we can eat. He was like, all right, cool. So he was like, I'm gonna go to the store while you go out with your friends. He gets to the store. He's trying to call her, ask her, like, what's all the stuff that they need, is in third. She's not answering. So he's just like, okay, whatever. So he got whatever stuff he thought that they needed, and he went back to the house. And basically, she stood him up. By the time she gets back to the house, she's drunk. You know, been partying with her friends, whatever. So she comes in, and she just sits on the floor. She don't say shit. So he's just like, oh, why you didn't answer when I called? She ignored him. This and third. Blah, blah, blah. He packs his shit. She get mad. She start hitting on him, screaming and yelling. Somebody calls the cops. And what happened? Somebody calls the cops. You know, they come out there. They talking shit to him, you know, type shit, whatever. They let him go. He go back in. She crying. He crying. They hug. Like, whatever. Anyway, that's the story that he told me, right? So I'm just listening like, okay. Like, what? Okay. So, cool. After that, we go to bed. We always go to sleep on the phone together. So we go to bed, whatever. So the next day, he calls me, and he's like, my ex called me. I said, for what? Like, how we go from just talking about her, and now all of a sudden, like, she calling you? Like, that's weird. So I'm like, okay. So he was just talking. Then he slips up and says, yeah, I had reached out to her yesterday because, you know, her birthday's coming up, or her birthday's today, and I wanted to congratulate her on her baby. So, mind you, he's talking about she called him. She was calling you back, nigga. What are you talking about? Because you called her first. The fuck? So he slips up and he says that. Me, I don't say nothing. I was quiet. I said, okay. So I'm like, what the fuck you calling her for? Like, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. So when he slips up and said that, I'm like, okay, noted. So after that, I let it go. You know, whatever. My birthday comes around. Cool, handy dandy, blah, blah, blah. So he ends up coming home for Christmas. They let him out for like 2 weeks. So he had 2 weeks off for Christmas, and he wanted to stay with me. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You know, whatever. I got a key to my house. This and the third. You know, he drove over 1,000 miles to come home, or whatever the case may be. He gets home. By the time I get off work, girl, he drunk. I had to go park his car and help him get upstairs, all types of stuff. Cool. Everything was pretty smooth. We went out on a couple dates. But I think this time when he came home, that's when things just really started to change, and I could really tell it was changing with him. So me and him, we were very open with each other. We told each other everything. And I remember one day I was sitting there, I had just got out the shower. He was like, yeah. He was like, I'm gonna go to my best friend's house, you know, whatever. And I was like, you want me to come with you? Like, you good? This and that? No, he said, I need to talk to her about something. Normally, when he would want to go somewhere, anything pertaining to his friends or his family, I would want him to go by himself. And my reasoning was because you have been gone for a very long time. Your family and friends have not seen you, so I want you to enjoy them. Like, what if I'm ready to go and you're not ready to go? You get what I'm saying? I want you to enjoy them to the max that you can, because they don't tell the next time you're going to see them. So this particular day, he was like, yeah, like, I'm gonna go over there, you know, I'm gonna go talk to her. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, what you gonna talk to her about? He was like, it's something that only she will understand. Okay, that's fine. So after that, I mean, I didn't say nothing else about it, because shit, that it is what it is. His best friend was a female, real cool chick. So I never had no, like, I was like, okay, you know, whatever. The only thing is I was working, so literally I would be the one getting up, going to work, coming back, this and third, but I was still doing the same things. Like, I would get up, I go to work, I get off, I come home, I shower, I cook, we eat, you know, whatever, or if we go somewhere, this and the third. So I think it just kind of really got rocky this one in particular night. Every night he would go to his mama's house. He would always ask me that I want to go to his mom's house, and I would tell him like, nah, like I'm good, you can go. Cause that was, what did I just say? My reason for letting you go by yourself, you know, this and the third. So mind you, him and his mama don't get along at all. So he didn't talk shit about his mama this and third. So I'm like, why the fuck you keep, if that's how you feel, and even when he came home, she talked shit about him. So if that's how we feeling, why we, but okay, all right, hey, that's your prerogative. So everything's going good between us, you know, whatever the case may be. And it's going into New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, I was like, I'm gonna cook, you know, we're gonna do this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. He was like, okay. So then the day before New Year's Eve, or like the morning of New Year's Eve, I can't remember which day, he told me that his ex called him, or she texted him, and said that she had his stuff. Because he still had stuff over there that the girl had at her apartment. And also at her baby daddy's apartment too. So, I don't know who reached out to who first. I feel like he reached out to her asking for that shit because he wanted to see her. Because she could give a fuck about that shit. But the way he spent it to me was, she reached out to him because she heard he was in town. And she wanted to give him his stuff back. So he was like, yeah, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to go get it. I said, no, he said, I told her to drop it off at my mama's house because I don't want to see her. I told her, drop it off at my mama's house, whatever. So I'm going to go to my mama's house, I'm going to pick up my stuff. I said, okay. I said, well, while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and start getting ready to cook. Cool. I'm in there cooking, bitch. This nigga calls me crying. I'm like, babe, what's wrong? I just don't understand why women treat me like this, and why women in my life, blah, blah. I'm like, what the fuck wrong? What's going on? So I'm thinking he didn't got to his mama, right? I saw her. Nigga, who is her? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? So he was like, I saw my ex. And I'm like, oh, here we go with this shit. So he's crying because he didn't seen the girl. So I asked him what happened. He said, I told her to drop the shit off at my mom's house. I get to my mom's house, she's there. She tells me that some of my stuff is still at her house. So to follow her to her house. So I follow her to her house. I stayed in the car. She goes in the house. She brings the shit out to the car. And then he proceeds to have a conversation with her. Asking her how she's doing. You know, congratulations on the baby, this and the third. And then he's kind of like, he asked about her parents. And so she just told him, like, my parents wish I would have stayed with you. They would have known, like, if I would have got pregnant by you, like, you would have, you know, taken care of the baby, taken care of me, this and third. Like, they don't like the new guy that I'm with, blah, 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 blah. And so he's, like, kind of, like, he was, like, he kind of chuckled at her or whatever, because he was just, like, you did all that extra shit, and now you with a nigga that you don't even, like, you got a restraining order on him, you got a baby on him, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just, like, okay. Why the fuck would you have a conversation with her? But I'm like, you know what, whatever. So he was like, you know, then he like left, whatever, and she still had some of his stuff. So I'm like, come home. Just come home, because he's doing all that fucking crying. I said, come home. So he's like, okay, I'm on my way home. So he gets home, and I'm like, are you okay? Do you want to talk about it? He was like, nah, I don't want to talk about it. He ain't crying at this point anymore or whatever. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and so that's like red flag number like 50 million at that point, where I should have been like, bitch, it's time for you to go. Crying because you seen your ex and had a conversation with your ex is crazy work. Like, you got to still be in love. So after that, you know, I got him drunk, got his mind off of it, whatever. So as we're going into the new year, my grandmother's birthday is like right around New Year's. So I was like, I want to go home, but I want you to meet my family. So he's like, okay. I said, but if you meet my family, I said, I would prefer for you to drive. And I only told him I wanted him to drive because I want them to see, like, yeah, I want a nigga that got his own car. So the morning of we supposed to leave, he was like getting ready, whatever. And so I was like, I thought we was taking your car. Nah, we taking your car. I'm not taking my car. And I'm like, but okay, cool. I said, if I drive there, you gotta drive back because it's gonna be late at night. We're only doing on one trip. I ain't driving. Nigga, what? I'm like, okay. At that, I'm thinking like he playing, so I'm just like, okay. So as we driving there, like I could just tell he had a whole attitude where he just didn't want to be there, basically. So when we get there, mind you, like my mama didn't know I was talking to nobody. I think only like my uncle, my grandmother, and my little sister knew. So everybody else, they was just kind of like, oh, like who is this, whatever, whatever. So he gets there, he has a whole fucking attitude, bitch. Like, I'm ready to go. Fuck these people. I don't want to be here. You know, like that was the attitude that he had. So I'm just like, why he acting like that? So my uncle trying to talk to him, and he like kind of like, you know, one word, my uncle kind of being a little sassy, and I'm just like, don't do that. So then when he talking to the women, like he a little more cool, whatever the case may be. So we sitting at the table. And I was asking my little sister, you know, she come to me, whatever, and I was asking my sister, like, you want to go to Old Navy? You want to go get some ice cream, this, that, and the third, whatever, whatever. So he's like, yeah, like, let's go to Old Navy. Let's go get some. I'm like, all right, like, that's cool. So I'm sitting here. I think I was talking to somebody, or I may have been talking to my little sister. And he's just like, you ready to go? Like, I'm ready to go to Old Navy, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, nigga, why are you rushing me? So cool. We go to Old Navy. We go, you know, get the ice cream. We come back to the house. So he just sitting there just looking like he ready to fucking go. I was only staying because my mama gets off late and she works from home. So I was waiting on her to get off so she could talk to him, meet him, whatever, whatever. So when she gets off, he just constantly asking me before she can get off, like, you ready to go? I'm ready to go. This and third, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the fuck? So my mama gets off and I'm like, yeah, like we finna go ahead and get on the road, this and third. Cause he was pissing me off at that point. So she talked to him for a little bit. She wasn't feeling him. Cool. So we go to get in the car, and I was like, you driving back? He told me, no, I'm not driving. You wanted to stay later? We were supposed to be gone by now. You want to stay later? I'm not driving back. Nigga, what? I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna argue with you. Like, you done pissing me off. You doing all this extra shit. You acting funny in front of my fucking family. Like, I'm trying to, like, you the first nigga since my nigga in high school to meet my fucking family. And you tripping. I ain't got time for it. So we go to leave. I go to the gas station, baby. I went in that gas station. He was like, he was finna get out so he could pump the gas. I said, nah, I got it. Shit, you want me to drive? I got it. So I went inside. I got me some snacks. I got me a Red Bull and some chips. Come back out, go to pump the gas. He already at the gas stand. And he started pumping the gas. So I'm like going around the car so I can get in the driver's seat. He said, bro, give me the keys. I said, for what? I'm driving, you not driving. He's like, nah, I'm gonna drive back. I said, yeah. So I gave him the keys. Cool. He drives us back. We get pulled over. I'm like, nigga, I can't even take a nap, bruh. We didn't got pulled over. Cool. Officer let us go. Only because he talked the man out of giving me a ticket because he's in the military. Thank you. Anyway, so cool. We get back to BR. I just didn't say nothing about it. Took me a shower, went to bed. So after that, I was really stressed out because I had to pay my rent and I didn't know how I was gonna fucking pay my rent. And I remember his sister or his niece, one of them, they were having a little birthday dinner at Applebee's, and he asked me if I wanted to go so I could meet his family, and I was like, yeah. I said, I go. I said, when I get off work, you know, I come home, take a shower, get dressed, whatever. So he's like, okay, cool. So I get off work, I go take a shower, I get dressed, but I'm also trying to figure out how to pay my rent so that I won't have to pay a late fee. So I call my mom, you know, I'm on the phone with my mom, whatever. So he's on the phone with his homeboys. Now, mind you, I'm listening to their conversation. So as we talking, you know, I am a bigger female. So as they're talking, his homeboy is like bashing whatever plus size female that he was talking to or he was with or whatever. Like, he hard down talking shit. Hard down talking shit. And so my nigga over here just kikiing with him. And I'm like, that's how you feel? But your girl, and that's how you feel? you weird as fuck, bro. Like, I don't even like that shit. I don't even like that shit. And at the time, I was a little more insecure. Like, a lot more insecure. So I really took that to heart. Like, you gonna let your best friend sit up here and talk about somebody that's, you know, kind of plus size, but I'm bigger too, but you want me to meet your friend? He say some shit, I might punch that nigga out. So I'm like, okay. So I'm on the phone with my mom. I'm trying to pay my rent, shit like that. So he over here, mind you, he was supposed to take his car. Bitch, he was supposed to take his fucking car. He talking about, can we take your car? I said, okay, that's fine. Well, can we pick my sister up? Can we go by my sister's house and go pick my sister up? Because my sister need a ride. So if your sister need a ride and her people need a ride, you need to take your motherfucking car. Why are you taking mine? The fuck? Then you want me to drive? Bitch, this your family shit. But I'm just like, okay, whatever. That before we listen and we don't judge, bitch. So anywho, so I'm on the phone with my mama trying to get the shit straight, whatever. He's like, you ready to go? Like, what you doing? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, nigga, I'm over here trying to pay my rent before you don't have nowhere to stay. And neither do I. Like, what the fuck? So, all right, cool. So after that, we leave. We go to get his sister. So mind you, like, he from the hood. In BR, I don't play that hood shit. Just like in Atlanta, I don't play that hood shit, bitch. I don't go to the hood. I ain't doing none of that shit. So, well, bruh, I'm from the hood, but my hood different. Like, my hood different. So, cool. We get to his sister's house, and all of a sudden, he just started talking. He's just like, yeah, like, I'm trying to see what I'm going to want to eat, this and the third. He's like, because I got to pay for you and me and blah, 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 blah. Because at the time, you know, money. So I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, I ain't got to eat. Like, I eat when I get back to the house type shit. Because I'm like, if I can't pay for it myself, I ain't finna stress it. He's like, man, if I didn't have to pay that $50 this morning, I could have had some extra money. So, y'all know what $50... Y'all know what the fuck $50 is for, bitch. Don't play dumb. So when he said it, it pissed me off because I told you not to do that. You did it anyway. Then we had to go spend that $50. Now you mad. So when he said that, I just looked and I just bust out laughing. Cause I'm like, yeah. I told you not to do that dumbass shit. Now you negative $50. Fuck out of here. So, and I also felt offended because I'm like, I told you not to do that. Now you over here complaining about money, talking about if you hadn't did it. Bitch, you shouldn't have did it. So when he said that, his homeboy already blew my mood. Him rushing me blew my mood. And you rushing me in my car to go pick up your sister. Then you just said that dumb shit. My whole mood is blown. I'm blown. So then his sister get in the car. She smelled like weed. Pissed me off. I said, oh my gosh. So we get to Applebee's. Cool. All his family out there. And the homeboy he was on the phone was supposed to be coming too. So I'm like, I'm not excited. So, mind you, I told you, him and his mama don't get along. So his mama come up to him, hugging him. Oh, my baby, this, that, and third. I'm like, what the fuck? So I should have known right then and there, bitch, you need to run like hell. Because what the fuck is going on? So then she over here talking to me. She was like, yeah, like, this is my baby. You take care of my baby, my baby, my baby. I'm like, what? From what I understood, bitch, y'all be, but that's your baby? I said, okay. So, the way the Applebee's is set up, bitch. Now, mind you, like I said, I did have my own insecurities because I was a bigger person. So, and I also overheard the friends, so I knew the friend was coming. So I was just like, okay. They had a booth. All of them were sitting at this circle booth. Now, I did not look for real at the way that the shit was set up. I did not look. So the way I thought it was set up was it was a booth. But really it was a circle and then a booth right there. So all of them sat at the circle. Now he said that there were more people coming, like his dad, his friend, and somebody else. So I was like, okay. So if this is the circle, I sat in the booth behind the circle. And I sat there by myself because none of them people ever showed up. So he had turned around. Like, we was back to back with the booth. Like, if, like, this is my back, this is his back. That's the way that we were. But the booth, you know, it was like the booth right there. So it's like, babe, like, you don't want to come sit over here? I was like, nah, like, I'm good. I know some more people coming, so they can come sit with me. He was like, okay. So he was like, well, I don't want to be back to back. I need to be able to see you. So he flips around. All right, cool. So they back there kikiing and shit. Bitch, I'm in the group chat. You got to know I'm over there. I'm like, bitch, like, what the fuck? This, that, and the third, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm sitting over here by myself. You know, this, that, and the third, waiting on other people. Blah, 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 blah. So, cool. I'm over there, Twitter fingers. So he comes to the booth and he like, babe, are you good? Like, why you don't want to come sit over there with us? I said, well, and some more people coming, like, this, that, and the third, they can come sit with me. So I was like, you know, like, I'm good. Just go ahead and go back over there. They come, like, they can come just sit with me. So then his sister come over there. She introduced herself. She was like, you know, why you sitting by yourself? And I was like, basically in my mind, it's just like, I felt like it was no room left, and I ain't finna do it. Like I said, I had my own insecurity, so I'm like, yeah, nah. So cool, whatever. She come have a conversation with me. She cool. I think I had talked to her daughter too because it was her birthday. So cool. We all talk, whatever. We leave, drop his sister back off, whatever. He didn't say nothing about it. That night. So one night I get off work and I get home and he was like, babe, I'm finna go to my mom's house because I need to go get something. It's early in the day, right? Because I got off at like 6. So he was like, do you want to come with me? I said, yeah, let me just take a shower right quick and then I'll go with you. I said, you coming right back? He was like, yeah. I said, okay, I'll go with you. So I take a shower, I get out the shower. Mind you, at the time, I had just crossed in 2021 too. So I was, you know, that Greek shit, like I'm heavy on it. So I get out the bathroom, he watching a probate, Omega Psi Phi probate. Now, everybody know I love the bros. It's not no shame in my motherfucking game. I love the motherfucking bros. And I'm going to stand by it, okay? And at the time, his cousin was a Q. I'm so sorry. His cousin was cute. So he watched the probate and I'm like, what the fuck you doing? So that's when he started saying, you know, shit about Greek life. And I'm just like, you know, if you're interested, you don't have to, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm just talking to him. So we just start watching probates from there. So of course, like, we watched like a Nuke probate and we watched Alpha Sigma, which is the Nukes at Southern. And so some of the people that I knew, like, that I was cool with, they had just crossed. So I'm like, yeah, like, you know, I'm happy to look past the spring. Something like, they really did that shit. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't saying nothing, whatever. We get done watching the probates. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Bitch is late. So he gets up and he's like, okay, babe, like, I'm finna get ready. You ready to go to my mama's house? And I was like, oh, you still going? He was like, yeah. I said, you still want me to go? And he's like, you don't want to go? I said, it's late. Like, I got work tomorrow and it's late. So he just kept asking. And I was like, nah, babe, go ahead and go. I said, go ahead and go because, you know, whatever. I'll stay at the house. I'll just be here when you get back. So he gets upset, and I could tell he's getting upset that I didn't want to go. So I was like, babe, like, is it really that big of a deal? Like, you really want me to go? He was like, bro, why do you think I keep asking you every time I go over there, like, do you want to go? Do you want to go? Do you want to go? I said, I didn't know it was that big of a deal for you. I said, but okay, let me put on some clothes. So as I'm putting on clothes, he arguing me down. So I'm like, damn, like, what the fuck? Arguing me down. We arguing like, well, I'm not even arguing back. I'm just sitting here like, babe, I did not know it was that big of a deal that you wanted me to go. So then he just goes out the deep end, bitch. He's like, you don't want to go because I stay in the hood, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, no, nigga, I'm from the hood. The fuck? I said, but I don't want to be out there late. You could be out late with your homegirls and go party with your homegirls, but you can't be late out with me, this and the third, blah, blah, blah. I said, but you with your family, like, that's different. What if I'm ready to go and you're not ready to go? Then we just leave, blah, 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 blah. So he just going in. So then it got to the point where I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, wow, because we've never had an argument. So I'm just like, appalled. I'm stunned. And he's just like, you selfish as fuck and blah, blah, blah. I was like, whoa, selfish? Me? All the shit I done did for you and I'm fucking selfish? Bitch, you got me fucked up. So he just like, yeah, like you selfish as fuck and blah, 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 blah. He was like, just like that shit you did when you met my family at Applebee's, you sat over there by your fucking self. Why would you sit by yourself? Why you wouldn't sit with everybody else, this, that, and the third? I said, it was other people coming. And I told you they could have sat with me. Wasn't nobody else coming. I told you wasn't nobody else coming. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Now, at the time, I couldn't admit that I was too insecure to just sit with them, whatever, or I overheard the conversation and made me feel some type of way. My communication was not up to par at that point. The way it kind of is now, but not, yeah. It's not where it's at now. I'm a work in progress. Leave me alone. So he's just going in. So I start going in too, because bitch, he even talked to me in the type of way. Now at the time, I stayed in a 4-bedroom apartment. It was like 4 of us in one apartment. Everybody was gone. I was the only person there. So me and him doing us arguing, whatever. So he was like, you know what, man, I'm finna go. So he leave out the room. He storms out the room. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you just finna leave? We sitting here arguing. Like, you just finna fucking leave, this and third. So he didn't say shit. He walks out, he slams my door. So I open the door. I said, don't be slamming my fucking door, bitch. So at the time, he had a key. So I couldn't just like be like, give my motherfucking keys back. So what I did was, he had pissed me off so bad. Bitch, I took all his shit. Except his expensive shit, like his PS5 and shit like that. Because he had his game in my house. Bitch, I took all his shit, packed it up in his bag, and put all his shit in the living room. Bitch, you got the right one. You're not gonna come in my house where I pay the motherfucking bills and you don't pay a dime, and you gonna yell at me and call me motherfucking selfish? Bitch, don't you ever. So I packed all his shit up, put that shit in the living room, and I went and I laid the fuck down. I laid down. I stayed up for a little bit because I was upset, and then I laid down. He would normally get home around like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. This time, he ain't come back at no 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Bitch, he didn't get home till about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So now I'm like, where the fuck you been at? I know you still in contact with your ex, so like, nigga, you was over there with her. Like, that shit was blowing me. Because I purposely like stayed up till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. He did not come back. Bitch, I slept in the middle of the motherfucking bed, bitch. If you thought you was gonna get in this bed and lay on your side, you sadly motherfucking mistaken, bitch. You finna sleep somewhere else, not in the bed with me. I purposely slept in the middle of the bed. So I hear him come in the house. And I just laid there. I didn't say nothing. I ain't do nothing. I ain't move. He walks in the room. He walks in the bathroom. He looking around. He's shuffling like, what the fuck? He walk out the bathroom. He walk out the room. He come back in the room, close the door. And I didn't hear nothing else. So when I didn't hear nothing else, I'm like, what the fuck? Girl, I get up. This man sitting on the floor. Sitting on the floor at the foot of the bed, bitch, watching damn Instagram reels. I said, I felt bad. I was being petty. So I get up. I said, why you sleeping on the floor? Or why you on the floor? He said, where's my stuff? Why did you move my stuff? I said, I packed it up and I put it in the living room. You left out of here, want to storm out of here and be mad and shit. I packed your shit up. He said, but you ain't even pack all of it. You just did that shit to be petty. You didn't even pack all of it. I said, I want him to touch that PS5. Because if I broke it, shit, I can't pay for it. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, we go into this conversation, basically. And I told him, like, you called me something like that shit really pissing me off. Like, I'm like, you mad because I don't want to go to your mama's house? You're talking about it's because you live in the hood? No, like, genuinely, I want you to enjoy your people on your own. Because if I'm ready to go, I can't leave and we roll together. If I'm ready to go and you're not ready to go, that's selfish, bitch. Like, I know you ain't gonna never see these people for like another year or two, maybe. So we go into the conversation, whatever. I'm crying, this and third. So I'm just like, you know, whatever. So we talked till like the sun come up, bitch. Like the sun came up. So cool, like he's still sitting on the floor and he's just like, come here. And I'm like, what? Because my feelings was really, really fucking hurt, bro. So I come to the floor, and you know we just talking whatever. And I'm like, alright. So like he tried to like kiss. He like tried to kiss me. I think I kissed him. I don't remember. But he was like trying to get into the nitty gritty, and I'm like, fuck no. You got me fucked up. I said, bro, let's go to bed. Let's just go to bed. Cause like, I'm tired. The sun came up. We doing all this shit. I'm tired. So we get in the bed. I turn my back towards him. So like he holding me. Oh no, he wasn't holding me. I just had my back towards him. He gets in the bed. I bust out in fucking tears. I was in so much pain, bitch. Cause like, wait, you got me fucked up. So like he hears me crying, and so he like rolls over and like hold me. He like, bro, like, he's like, stop crying. And I'm like, nah, like this shit really hurt my feelings. So we just didn't talk about it no more. So the next day I was still mad. I ain't gonna lie to you. I woke up still motherfucking pissed. I woke up still pissed because he was just like I'm telling you, that argument, he was going in. He was like, everything you always want to do, we always do, but when it's something I want to do, you don't never want to fucking do it. All I want to do is go over there to go see my family, this and third. You don't never want to go with me, but let it be a TV show that you want to watch, or let it be a restaurant you want to go to. You want to go this and third. And I'm like, damn, you could tell me no. You can. Same way I tell you no, you could tell me no. Like, the fuck? I just, girl, that whole conversation, that whole argument had just threw me for a fucking loop, bitch. Like, so the next day I was still mad. I'm not gonna hold you. I was still very upset. Like, yeah, it took me a minute to get over that shit. Okay, so after that, we really just moved on with our lives, you know, whatever. His best friend, I finally had met her in person. Like, we went to her house. I had me a good time. I got drunk. He don't drink. I got drunk, baby. I didn't care me. You know, whatever. We just had a good time, whatever. And it was coming time for him to go home. He wanted to go say goodbye to his dad the night before. And his dad, I think, was working late. He asked me to go with him. After that conversation, I realized, you really want me to go with you? You know, this and the third. So I was like, cool. So I went. Cool. I had me a good little time. You know, talked to his mom, talked to his dad, and I think that's when we went ahead and went over to the best friend's house. Or that was 2 separate nights. Either way, that don't really matter. But yeah, like, we just rode out the rest of his time here. So when he left, I felt like that's when things really got sticky, is when he left. He leaves, and once he left, he was already sad about leaving because he was already homesick. So he was like, damn, I gotta go back here. I hate it here. A lot of guys, what I noticed about a lot of guys in the military, they hate the military. Like, but they never leave the military. Like, what the fuck? That don't make sense. So cool, but he was really sad. I could tell in his voice, and then he was having problems with his car. You know, he was just having a lot of different problems. I was also having my own problems, as far as, you know, bills. At the time, I needed brand new tires, all 4 brand new tires. I was working 2 jobs, and I was door dashing. Like, I was doing a lot. I was. So I remember one day we were having a conversation on the phone, and we were talking about one in particular day, you know, when we was, yeah. And he basically, in so many words, said that it was like I was trying to trap him with a child. And I was like, what? Huh? Because I don't want no kids right now. Like, and I was still in college. I definitely didn't want no fucking babies. So I'm like, what? So he was like, yeah, like, you know, he was just, like, the way he put it, he said something. He was like, you know, I don't want to say trapped, but, you know, it was just like you was trying to make it the perfect moment. And I'm like, nigga, what? What? Trapped? No, you're trying to say trapped. What the fuck? So I'm like, no. So it just kind of sat on my heart real heavy for a very, 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 very long time. And I was one of those people where stuff would sit, like, you can say something, and I would let it sit and marinate, and I'm gonna get mad as fuck. And you could say the simplest thing to me. You could be like, you look really pretty today. And I'm like, bitch, you got me fucked up. Like, it could be something like that. And like, my communication now is so much better than it was then. When we were together, I had a really bad communication problem. And it was kind of toxic the way that I communicated, because I'll blow up on you and then we'll give each other space, and then I expect us to get right back to where we was at, instead of me just telling me like, hey, like, you hurt my feelings. Like, I could not communicate at all when I was in this relationship. And this was like prior to the relationship. I was never a good communicator. I never grew up a good communicator. Like, I was never like that. But now that I'm older, I'm still a little off, but I'm a lot better to where if you say something right now, like, if somebody that I'm talking to right now were to say something that I don't like, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna think about it for a little bit, and then I'll be like, hey, we need to talk. And then we're gonna talk about it like two civilized adults. And if I feel myself getting up there, I'm gonna calm myself back down, because I know me. And I'm also in therapy, so clock it. Anyway, so yeah, that's one thing that I can't admit. Red flag for me was I could not communicate at all. So he said that, and I'm like, okay. And I just kept thinking about it. I'm like, bitch, you think I ever want to trap you? I spend that $500 before I ever trap you, and don't even know how the fuck I'm gonna get it. What? Crazy. So cool. I just let it marinate. So then, like, maybe 3 days later, I went off on him, because I'm like, nigga, like, you out here trying. He said that he loved me. He was like, you know, he was complimenting me and telling me how beautiful I was, this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah. And then he was like, you know, I love you. I said, no, the fuck you don't. And so I just went in, bitch. I just went in. Because you done pissed me off. Like, you done pissed me off. So, cool. We had stopped talking for a couple of hours, and then, you know, he came back, he apologized. I apologized for going off on him, and we just went on about our normal lives. So, it was kind of bumpy, but it wasn't as bumpy. Now, his birthday was coming up. His birthday is in February, so his birthday was coming up, and I think he's a leap baby, so, like, he don't actually have a birthday. So he was telling me, like, people have never done anything nice for him for his birthday, and this and third, blah, 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 blah. So me, I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna make his birthday worth it. Now, mind you, like I just said, I was working 2 jobs. I was door dashing. I was in school. And I still had priorities that I need to take care of at the house. Like my bills and figuring out how the fuck I'm gonna get 4 brand new damn tires. I done went, bought me a plane ticket. I got my Airbnb, the same Airbnb, purchased it. And I started buying him gifts. So the way I wanted to do it was a surprise trip. He was not gonna know about it. I was going to fly out there, Uber to the Airbnb, and I was gonna tell him that I left something at the Airbnb from when I came in December. The lady's been holding it for me, and I kept forgetting to tell him to go pick it up. And she just messaged me, can you go pick it up today? You know, whatever. So then when he goes to the Airbnb to go pick it up, he's gonna, when he knocks on the door, I'm going to open the door and I'm gonna be like, surprise, you know, whatever. And then for his actual birthday, cause you know, he works. So when he gets off work, I was gonna take him out to dinner. So what I was gonna do was decorate the Airbnb, get him a bunch of different gifts. I know he said he needed a new wallet. We had one in the store. He had one a new pair of Vans, so I was gonna give him a new pair of Vans. I had got a custom phone case with like our pictures on it. He had been wanting these trucker hats, so I had got him like 3 of them. Like, girl, I went all out, but mind you, my bill's still not paid, and I still need 4 brand new tires. But I'm over here spending thousands of money, like thousands of dollars on you, because you've never had a great birthday, and I want to make sure that you have a great birthday. And then also, I know he was kind of like his pockets wasn't good either, so I was just gonna, you know, put him a little money in a card, and you know, give him that money. And then, you know, get him a bag with like a little candy bag, stuff like that. Like, you know, I had everything. I had already started ordering gifts. I had already booked my flight. I already booked my Airbnb. He didn't know nothing about it. He didn't know I was doing this. So, cool. So one night, like, he just been so depressed. Like, he been so depressed since he been back. And I was like, I can't wait till, you know, February come around, because, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Like, so literally, me and him were having a conversation one night. And at the time, we were going to film a video for my 1 year, or our 1 year me and my line sisters. So this was like, I think we shot the video on the 12th or the 13th. So the day before that, we were on the phone that night, and we were just talking, whatever. And we were really having a really deep conversation, and he was just telling me, you know, family things, and he told me a lot about his family, a lot of stuff that I didn't know he had never told me. He was telling me stuff about him. He was telling me stuff about some of the issues he's been having lately. You know, just a bunch of stuff that I honestly did not know. Like, had he not told me, I would have never known. So, you know, we were just having that conversation, and as we're having, I'm communicating with him back, and I'm like, hey, like, you know, why don't, you know, we do this or we do that? Like, you know, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? You know, just trying to help him out. So, of course, we get to the ex. He brought her ass up, and I'm like, ugh. So once he brought her ass up, I just shut the fuck up, me. Because I'm like, you know what? I'm so tired of hearing about this bitch. I'm tired of you crying about this bitch. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of her. Like, it got to the point I had looked that girl up on Facebook and everything. Because I'm like, what the fuck does she even look like? Like, what the fuck? Like, what are we talking about? Because apparently she went to the same school that I went to. So I'm like, bitch, like, what the... All right. So when he started talking about her, I just shut the fuck up. So eventually I got frustrated because I'm like, I'm just really tired of talking about her. So I'm just like, maybe you need closure. I said, maybe you need to reach out to her. I said, maybe you need to reach out to her and just tell her you want to talk to her. He's just like, no, like, I don't want to talk to her and this and third. I said, okay, I'm just telling you, maybe you should. So I just shut the fuck up again. He kept going on and on and on and on. And so he was like, the one thing that triggered me, and I just cannot forget it, the one thing that really, I think, just pissed me off, I was letting him have this conversation. I didn't give a damn. But what pissed me off is when he says, you know, she goes and gets with this guy and he nuts in her one time and she gets pregnant. But I nutted her all the time and she never got pregnant. What? So mind you, I'm halfway like trying to go to sleep. But when he said that, bitch, I'm up. Cause what? Are you trying to say that you wish that you was the father of her baby? Is that what you're trying to tell me right now? Don't piss me off. So I'm like, what? So I shut the fuck up. So then he's like, why'd you get so quiet? I said, nothing, I'm just listening to you talk. So he just going. I fall asleep on him. So the next morning I wake up and I text him. I said, you know, like, good morning, you know, whatever. I said, did the talk from last night help? And he's just like kind of not really, whatever. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, can I ask you a question? He was like, what's up? I said, do you wish you were the father of her baby? He was like, then or now? What? Like, what the fuck do that mean? So I'm like, do you wish you was the father of her baby? He was like, then yes. So in my mind, when he says, then yes, mind you, he found out she was pregnant while we were together. So when he says that, I'm thinking, oh, so when you found out this bitch was pregnant, you wish that the baby was yours and not this other nigga's. So, but you got to know I went off. I don't know, as soon as he said that, I said, you know what, okay. I said, listen, you need to call that girl or talk to her or something like that. You need to do something. You need to get closer. You need to talk to this girl. Because I feel like I can't move forward with you. Like, we go 3 steps forward, you push me 10 steps back, you still talk about this girl. Like, I feel like we're not gonna get nowhere. So he's just like, no, I don't want no closure. I don't want to talk to her, this, and the third. I said, you need to. So I'm just going in. I'm like, you over here wish you was the father of her baby. Like, you know, just all this shit. Like, this shit just blowing me because I'm tired of talking about the bitch. So he's just like, no, like, I don't want to talk to her. I'm telling you. He's like, listen, Let it go. I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to talk to her. I'm like, nigga. So mind you, my line sister right there. So I'm talking to my line sister about it, whatever. So we over there. So basically, I'm getting hyped up because I'm talking about it with my line sister. So I'm already pissed. But now I'm getting more pissed and more hyped. So I don't remember what I said in the text message. But bitch, I'm sending long ass paragraphs. So he keeps telling me, let it go, let it go, let it go. And I just would not. So finally, he went in on me. He was like, you know what? You know what? And he just went in on me. I do not remember what he said. He did call me selfish again. He said that he then flips on me and says that I was the one that kept bringing her up in conversation, that kept asking questions, this, that, and the third. Never him, which is a lie. He would bring her up first, and then I would ask questions. The fuck? So then he's just going in. He was like, you know what? Leave me the fuck alone. So I'm like, at this point, I'm upset, but my line sister right there, so I can't like cry for my line sister. So once I got done with her hair, I go in the bathroom, I'm crying. And I'm like, bruh, like, I'm literally just telling you, like, I just want you to talk to this girl so you can get some closure so that me and you can move forward. That's it. Like, I'm thinking about our future and our relationship, this and third. She's like, bruh, leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. I want to talk to you. I'm like, okay. I said, well, you know, I'm thinking about your best interest, whatever. So at that point, I knew, because he's never flashed on me like that. Like, we didn't got into one big argument, which was that first night that he called me selfish, but this was something totally different. Like, he just went in on me, gaslighted me, flipped the whole situation. He flipped everything on me, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So at that point, I was like, I fucked up. So, cool. He was like, leave me alone. I don't want to talk. I said, okay. So I left him alone. I said, I love you. I gotta go do this video. I'll talk to you later. At that point, I didn't even want to do the fucking video because I'm over here hurt, stressed, my bookie butt. Like, we didn't got into it, bitch. I'm hurt. I do the video. I get mad drunk that night. Now, normally what happens is when we get into an argument, we go our separate ways for maybe like a couple of hours. We come back, we talk about it, we forgive each other, and we move forward. That shit didn't happen. He did not call me that night. I said, okay, he'll call me tomorrow. He ain't coming the next day. Sunday, no, this was a Saturday. So Monday comes. The day before Valentine's Day. Bitch, nothing. So my friend, she came over because I was doing Valentine's Day orders for my business. And she comes over and we're talking about it. And she's just like, where do you feel like you like fucked up at? And I was like, as far as me communicating, like I could have communicated that better, but I just went in on them. Like I didn't know what else to do because I feel like we not getting nowhere, this and third. So she's like, okay, so you know where you went wrong. You can admit where you went wrong. She said, when he calms down and y'all have this conversation, like, you know, just you need to talk to him, you know, tell him that you do know where you went wrong, this and third, but also, bitch, just because you went wrong during like the communication, that don't mean he in the clear. Because he's still talking about her, this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. He's still defending, like, just, like, what the fuck? So y'all need to figure that out, too. And so I'm like, all right, cool. Valentine's Day roll around, bitch didn't hear nothing from him. I said, what the fuck? So this man did not talk to me for 3 days, y'all. 3 fucking days, nothing. He was watching my story, did not talk to me for 3 days. I said, okay, all right. Okay. Tuesday. This was a Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. Either way, the day after Valentine's Day, bitch. I'm in the car with my line sister. My line sister came to pick me up. We went to go drop something off for community service. And I get a text message. It's from him. So I'm like, oh shit, like he text me, you know, this and third. Tell me why, y'all. This man texted me and said, I think it's best if we just go our separate ways. Bitch, you couldn't even call me and break up with me. Bitch, you broke up with me over a text and said you think it's best if we just... I get mad about that all the time. Cause I'm just like, bitch, what? Girl. So, I'm like, okay. That's not what I really said, though. I was so fucking hurt. I said no because, like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, like, I'm big long paragraphs. I'm like, bro, like, I was supposed to be coming out there next week to come see you. Like, I done already booked me a flight. I did this, I did that, blah, blah, blah. He was like, don't come. I don't want to see you. Nigga, what? Boy, I'm blowing him a long ass paragraph, bitch. I'm crying. My line was like, Ken, it's okay. This and third. We gotta go to class. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, bitch, I'm over here. I feel like, Sheila, I'm fighting for my fucking marriage right now, bitch. Like, I don't, fuck that class. The fuck? I don't even understand it. Fuck that class. Like, I'm, bitch, girl. So, long ass paragraphs. He's sending like one sentence. I'm saying that. I'm talking like the long johns, like this. Bitch, he's sending one sentence. He like, nah, like, I'm good. I'm cool. I'm like, what the fuck? So, I'm in class, bitch. I'm hurt as fuck. So I'm just like, no, like, I'm sorry, like, this is where I fucked up at, this and third, like, we can work on it, blah, blah, blah. So eventually he calls me. Bitch, I ran out that classroom, bitch. Got my fucking AirPods, put my AirPods in my ear, bitch. I lost my AirPods after that. Like, I'm on the phone with him and we just talking about it, and I'm sitting over there like crying and shit, but I'm trying not to cry because I'm on campus. I don't want nobody to see me crying. But like, bitch, I'm really hurt. Like, bitch, I had went to my car to finish this conversation. I didn't even go back into class. My line sister had to bring my purse. So I'm on the phone, like, and I'm just like, bro, like, I understand what I did on my end, this and third. I said, but honestly and genuinely, I really just wanted you to get some clothes for her. He was like, did you ever stop and think that shit don't work? You don't think I didn't ask for that? I asked her for that. She told me she didn't want to give it to me. She didn't want to talk to me. She didn't want to see me. She didn't want to do this. She didn't want to do that. He said, I tried to get that shit. He's like, so you saying that? That's why I kept saying no, because I already tried that. So I'm like, okay, but I just wanted to move forward. This and third, he's like, nah, like, I don't want to be with you. He was like, I appreciate your apology, but I don't want to be with you. And I'm like, because normally prior to this relationship, I'm always the one to break up with the niggas. The niggas never break up with me. So I'm like, the fuck? So, bitch, I don't know really what all was said. I just know I was on the phone with that man for 6 hours. I got in my car. I never went back in class. She brought me my purse. I went to the sorority house because I was supposed to be at the sorority house. I went to the sorority house. I was in the car on the phone with him. Never went into the sorority house. My advisor came out. She was like, you okay? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, no, you're not. She said, it's that boy. I said, she was like, girl, fuck him. You'll get another one. I said, no, but I want this one. Like, the fuck, I not ready to invest the time. Now, mind you, he was my first boyfriend in college, too. So it's like, bitch, I'm not ready to invest the time in this nigga. Like, no, I want him. So we argued down. Well, not argued down, but we was just talking. And so he just like, That man for 6 hours straight told me he did not want me. He did not want to see me. None of that shit. So by the time I got to the house, I was so done fighting the conversation. And so he was just like once he could hear in my voice that I was done trying to fight for our relationship, he eventually calmed down. He was like, not once did I ever cheat on you. This is not a reason I would have ever thought we would have broke up. He said, not once did I ever cheat on you. Not once did I ever do this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. He was like, and I really thought you were going to be different. So now I look back on it, it's like, bitch, what? You thought I was going to, bitch, I was different. Bitch, 2 Chainz, that bitch, I'm different. Yeah, bitch, I am. What is you talking about? Bitch, I didn't leave you. I didn't leave you for another nigga and get pregnant by another. I didn't do none of that. But I know somebody that did, and you literally keep trying to get that bitch. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. So, I'm just like, whatever. I said, so what you want me to do with all these gifts? Because, I told him the plan that I had going on, and he was just like, keep them, I don't want them. He said, you can sell them, you can do whatever. I said, okay. He was like, as far as your flight and your Airbnb, he said, get a refund. If they don't give you the full refund, I'll pay the other half. I already knew right then and there, I don't want your fucking money. Bitch, fuck you and that money. I should have took it. But fuck you and that money. My pride told me no. So I was like, okay, whatever. And I said, hopefully we could be friends. Because at this point, he's becoming part of my routine. We wake up to each other. We go to work. We get off work. And we talk as if you would do if you was married. So we get off the phone, and I knew that was gonna be my last time ever hearing from him. And I texted my line sisters, and I was just like, he broke up with me. In the chat hurt as fuck. They're like, Ken, like, it's okay. This and third. I'm like, no, bitch, it's not. So Yeah, I was in a group chat. I was really fucking hurt. Like, bitch, it was very hard for me. Like, this was probably the hardest breakup that I had ever had. Like, it was hard for me to even move comfortably in my house because you have to realize he just stayed with me for 2 weeks. So it's like we was in the same bed together. Like, I used to cry over anything. Bitch, we was in the same bed together. We took showers together. I used to be in the shower crying because it's like, bitch, you was just in here with me. Like, you know, it was just hard. Like, it was so hard that even when I heard that song by Miguel, the one that he played when we went on our first date, the Sure Thing song, girl, I heard that song, I had to immediately skip it. I would start crying. I had to leave work early because I was crying after he broke up with me. That's just how hurt I was because he was my first boyfriend in college. He was the first boyfriend I've had since 2018. Come on now. So after that, it was really, really bad. It was really, really bad. I was having a very hard time. So I called him. And I reached out to him and I was just like, bro, like, how did you do this? Like, I can't do this. So he's just like, don't worry, like, you'll be fine. He was like, the same way that you feel, the same way I felt when she broke up with me. When she broke up with me, I kept trying to talk to her, kept trying to ask her for closure, kept trying to get her back. She denied me every time. She didn't want nothing to do with me. She said she didn't want to see me. She didn't want to talk to me. She didn't want nothing to do with me. So basically, everything that she did to him, he just did to me, basically. That's what he really just told me. And I didn't say nothing because I'm like, you know that, but okay, cool. So he was just like, you know, once you get to the other side of the fence, like I am, like, you're going to be fine. So he was going to the gym. He was like, let me call you later. And I was like, okay. So he had called me later and he was, we were just having a conversation. He was like, are you okay? This and third. And I'm like, no. I'm like, but I do feel better, like, hearing your voice, knowing, like, we could be friends and we can move past this, you know, whatever. Like, you know, and I still be able to talk to you. So we were just having a conversation and he was just like, do you know what I did that weekend? And I was like, what? Like, what? He was like, I went out with my friends. I went to the club. Now, mind you, he's not a social person at all. He's not a social person. He don't drink. He don't do none of that. So I'm like, okay. I didn't know where the story was going. I still to this day don't know what the hell the story was going. I don't know what the point was telling me the story. But he was just like, while he was at the club, like a bunch of girls kept coming up to him, asking him was he single and trying to talk to him and this, that, and the third. And he just told them he was cool off of them. And I'm like, okay, like what does that have to do with anything? Still don't understand it to this day. So I'm just like, okay. So after that, I never heard from him again. So weeks go by, I'm still upset. I'm still thinking about it. Like, I'm just playing like, what the fuck did I do wrong? What could I have done that could have been different? Like, if I didn't ask him that question, you know, if I didn't ask him this question, shit would have been better, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, we'd still be together, blah, blah, blah. First of all, let me tell you how God worked. I was never supposed to be in that relationship with that man because of the simple fact that man did not believe in God. And he told me that. Girl, anyway. Yeah, when you don't belong with somebody. So I was like, okay. It was still hard for me. I was still going through every day, just everywhere. And one day I was at work and I called my friend and I was like, girl, like, at the time, my flight was still on. Like, I never canceled my flight. I never canceled my Airbnb. I think it was like the week of. And I was like, I want to go see him. Like, I just want to go out there and just tell him, like, I'm here. You want to come? Like, you can come talk to me this and that. If you don't, that's fine. You know, I was just going to, you know, chill out there, but knowing, like, you know, I at least tried, you know, everything I could. She's like, listen, if that's what you want to do, I get it. She said, but if he's already said, like, he don't want to see you this and third, I don't think you should do it. She said, but if you are going to do it, I think you need to call him and ask him first. She's like, because you already, like, y'all already gotten to that point where you overstep the boundary. You don't want to overstep more boundaries by, you know, doing X, Y, Z. And I was like, okay. So I called him and I was like, listen, my flight is still on. My Airbnb is still there. I want to come out there. If you want to come to the Airbnb and talk, I just want to talk about it face to face. Because in my mind, I know that he cannot say the shit face to face to me. I knew he couldn't. I knew he couldn't. So he was like, no. He said, I don't want to see you. He was like, I get it. He's like, I get where you coming from, you know, this and third, but I don't want to see you. He's like, I don't want to talk about it. I stand on my decision. This is what it is. This is what it's going to be. And I was like, wow. Like, he really done. Like, that's crazy. When normally we just stop talking for a couple of hours and then we start back talking like, bitch, you really done. So I was like, okay. So as soon as we hung up the phone, I went ahead, canceled my flight. They only gave me flight credit. Canceled my Airbnb, and I think they only gave me half my money back. So I was like, okay, whatever. I did not ask him for the money. If anybody asking, no, I did not ask him for the money back. I ain't give a fuck. I just wanted to be over him. So it was very hard. He had left stuff in my house, girl. It was so hard to the point where everything that he left in my house, I hid it under my bed. Bitch, I did not touch or move that stuff until I moved to Atlanta. Yeah. Mind you, we broke up the beginning of 2022. That stuff stayed under my bed. And I mean, it was little stuff. It was like his shoes, an extension cord to his game system. What else? It was the bracelet that his niece had made me. But all that shit was under there. He had bought me a little stuffed toy. All that was under there. Like, I couldn't look at it. Because I would start crying. I could not look at it. I did not touch that stuff until I moved to Atlanta. Literally. So, it was just very hard for me. And I was so delusional over him. Like, girl, when I was door dashing, I used to ride past his house just to, like, see if he was back home. And one time, he actually was back home. I seen his car outside of the parkway, and I was like, "Oh shit! Like, let me hurry up, cause I hope he don't see me." Yeah, he was actually back home. Like, I did that a couple times. Like, I was so delusional. I typed his address and his phone number in like a note section of my phone, just cause I wanted to reach out to him again, or I ever need to go over there. Now, actually, what I was gonna do is I was just gonna put his stuff in a package, and I was gonna put it in his mama mailbox. And she could give it to you when you come home. But I was like, I feel like if I do that, he's never gonna get it. So fuck it. So yeah, like, I was very delusional over this man. Like, that's crazy. Very delusional. I do believe we had a soul tie. Like, it took me a very long time to get over him. It was so bad to the point where 2022 was that 2022? 2022. It was in October. We broke up in February. It's October. I didn't went on a healing journey. I didn't stop talking to men. I didn't stop doing anything with men. I was just focused on me. And I actually was doing good. Like, I was doing good. Girl, one day I had a dream reliving that shit all over again, bitch. When I say I woke up out of my sleep crying, that's just like, it was bad. Like, I do believe we had a soul tie for real. It was very bad. So I was just like, yeah, this is not cool. Like, I was on the phone all day. I was crying all day long after I had that dream. It was very, very bad. It was hard. Like, that breakup was hard. The healing process was hard. Like, it was just a lot. So, couple months later, May, like Labor Day, Memorial Day, whatever day it is up in May, I'm at the pool with my line sisters. We chilling, grilling in the pool, all type of shit. I was trying to see this girl, and she looks very familiar. And I'm just like, damn, she look familiar. And she kept looking at me, and I'm just like, okay. So as I get closer, she was like, Ken? I was like, what's up? She was like, I'm so-and-so best friend. I said, girl, how you doing? This, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. Like, we just kind of catching up, whatever. And so she was like, what happened? Because he never really told me you never really told me what happened. I said, well, I didn't have your number. You had mine, but I didn't have yours. So I couldn't call you and tell you. I said, what did he tell you? She was like, oh, well, he told me that it was a mutual agreement for y'all to break up. Bitch, what? And I looked at her just like that. Bitch, what? I was like, so me arguing on the phone and fighting on the phone for my relationship for 6 hours was a mutual agreement for us to break up? Girl, what? Like, she had blew me. So she was like, you know what? She said, I knew it was more to it than that. She was like, you was one of the best girlfriends he's ever had. She was like, I actually liked you. I liked you for him. Like, he's so fucking stuck on stupid on that bitch. She said, at one point, I had to cut him off because he just ride 10 toes behind that bitch. Like, I literally told him, she's cheating on you. She's doing this, she's doing that. And he sat up there and flipped the script on me, talking about some, you just jealous of our relationship and this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. She was like, no, like, the bitch is really cheating on you. And she straight up told him, like, you know what? If you gonna keep going 10 toes behind her, she said, I cannot be friends with you. Like, I dead ass can't, because I'm telling you what the girl doing. to look out for you as a friend, and you still over here bullshitting. And she had been cheating on him. He admitted, like, and she dead ass told him to his face, I've been cheating on you. How the fuck you think she got pregnant as soon as y'all broke up? Then not to mention, the best friend tells me they broke up in August. Remember, we met in October. So, bitch, what? You just out of a fresh breakup. He had known that girl for 5 years, been together with her for 3 years, and at some point he was engaged. So she just telling me the tea, whatever. And she was like, girl, then he had the nerve to come over here crying to me about this bitch, this, that, and the third. Talking about he need to talk to me. He over here crying over her. And I'm over here telling him, like, don't you got a girl? Ain't she at the house? So why the fuck you crying over her? Now, remember when I told y'all, when he was staying with me, he had came to me, he was like, I'm finna go over to my best friend's house. Cause I need to talk to her. And I was like, what you need to talk to her about? And he was like, oh, like, it's just something between me and her. Like, I need to talk to her about it. Yeah, he was talking about the bitch. He over there talking about that fucking girl and how his fucking feelings broken. This and third, over there crying in her motherfucking car. But gonna tell his best friend that it was a mutual agreement for us to break up. Bitch, please. So, after that, I'm like, wow, like, yeah, he really just 10 toes behind that bitch. Like, that's what it is. Like, he was dead ass in love with the girl. Point blank period. He wanted to have her, but he wanted her to have his babies. He wanted her to get married to him. That's the one for him. Like, bitch, please. So, like I said, I had tried to reach out to him so he could get his stuff, but I think he had blocked me. Yeah, he had blocked my phone number. Like, I said, how the fuck you gonna block me? Then he was also following me on socials. So whenever I was posting shit on my story, bitch, eventually he blocked me on socials. And the only reason he blocked me on my social is because one of the bros actually that I was talking to before I was talking to him, or that I was messing around with before I started talking to him, like, he had said something about me coming to this party, and I was talking about it on my spam. Bitch, he seen it, and I guess he got mad, and he fucking blocked me and unfriended me. I said, ugh, sassy much? The fuck? Girl, it was just a whole lot of. As far as his shit, bitch, I held on to that shit until I went to move. And when I say I held that shit under my bed, I could not look at it. I would bust out in tears. I couldn't do nothing with it. I just wanted him to come get it. He blocked me. I couldn't get in contact with him. This and the third. I tried to get in contact with his best friend. She wasn't answering, so I'm like, all right, cool. So what I did was, when I moved out, I actually did pack the shit up with me. I packed it up and I brought it with me to my hometown. Once I brought it with me to my hometown, I then was like, you know what? He ain't responding, she ain't responding, for throw the shit away. And that's exactly what I did. The only thing I kept was a neck pillow because I do a little bit more traveling than I've ever done. So I have a neck pillow when I get on the plane. But it's nothing sentimental. Like, fuck it. But I threw all that shit away. That man reached out to me in August of 2023 when I moved out here to Atlanta. And he DM'd me. He was like, hey, like, I heard you been looking for me. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? And he was like, this is so-and-so. And I was like, oh, what's up? I said, yeah, I was trying to get your stuff back. And he's like, oh, well, what was it? And I told him, he was like, nah, I don't want you to keep it. He said, but thank you, for trying to, reach out and get it back to me, this and third. I said, oh, no problem. Like, I hope you continue to do good in life and this and the third. I wished him well and wished him the hell on his way. But I was like, I really hope he don't want that shit because I already threw it away. He was gonna be the fuck okay. But yeah, bitch, he basically dumped me because he wanted his ex that was pregnant by another nigga. Girl, what the fuck? That's just the craziest shit ever. That's the craziest shit ever. But I do have my little faults. Like, I was a little toxic. My communication was terrible. Like, I do have my selfish moments. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I learned a lot from that relationship. And I'm still working on stuff now. So it was some stuff that I can admit that I did wrong back then. But my thing is, I actually did what I could, and I did the best that I could to you and for you. And I feel like nobody's ever gonna get that back out of me because you fucked it up for a lot of people. Yeah, girl, honey, that shit was so bad. That was the worst breakup I've ever had, girl. I'm telling you, like, bitch, I don't want to experience that shit never, ever, ever the fuck again. I say, girl, please, like, but like I said, I knew I shouldn't have been with him. Bitch, that man don't believe in God. And I was trying to, like, Still be with that man, girl. That shit was hard. That shit was rough. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. So, bitch, yeah. So, yeah, y'all. That's the story time, basically, of how my boyfriend broke up with me because he wanted to get back with his pregnant ex that was pregnant by another man and didn't want him back. We listen and we don't judge. Dead ass. That's the whole fucking story time, bitch. That shit's crazy. That's one of my favorite stories actually to tell. Because when I think about it, I be like, bitch, you was crazy. Bitch, you should have left here. You should have left then. You should have left then, but you was so delusional. Like, I ain't gonna say I'm still not a little delusional, but like, bitch, you was delulu as fuck. Yeah, that shit was really bad. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Drop some comments in the chat if you made it this far. I hope you did because this shit just crazy work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story time, and I'll see you guys in another episode of Chemist.